Hi everyone, and I'm a pastor's wife for 6 years now, and I know I will continue to learn more as the years go by. So today I want to share some important lessons I've discovered in this journey. For some, being pastor's wife sounds like a dream, sitting in the front row during Sundays, during services, being respected, being known in the church, but in reality, its role filled with both blessings and burdens. So before you dream of becoming one, here are the things you really need to know. First, you have to know that it's a calling, not just a title. Being a pastor's wife is not simply a status you get after marrying a man of God. It's a calling in itself. When you marry a pastor, you're not just becoming his wife, you're entering into a life of ministry. That means you'll face not only the joys of serving God, but also the pressures, sacrifices, and spiritual battles that come with ministry life. So, this is why it's important to ask yourself, am I ready to embrace the calling, not just the title? For example, when I first became a pastor's wife, I thought I could just support from the background. But soon I realized people naturally look to you as part of the ministry, whether you hold an official role or not. Even if you're not a leader, your presence in your life become part of your husband's calling. So before saying yes to being a pastor's wife, make sure you're always saying yes to the mission God has placed on your husband and eventually on you too. It's not about position or prestige. It's about embracing a life of service to God and His people. Number two, you share your husband with the church. Yes, one of the hardest realities to accept is that you don't have your husband all to yourself. Ministry is demanding, and there will be times when your date nights are cut off or cut short because a member called about an emergency. Family dinners might be interrupted because he has to visit some, places or members to visit. Yeah, holidays may be spent preparing sermons or attending church activities. So this doesn't mean that your marriage is doomed to suffer. No, it's not like that. So it means you need to have extra patience, understanding, and maturity to share your husband with the church family. So communication and balance are key. So learn to set boundaries when necessary, but also learn to release him joyfully to serve when God calls. Third, people will have expectations. When you become a pastor's wife, people automatically assume you can do everything, as in everything. They may expect you to sing in the choir or worship team, lead women's ministry, organize events, teach kids, or always smile no matter what. But the truth is, you are not superwoman. You don't have to fulfill every role just because people expect it. I remember one time a member came up to me and told me, "You should always smile, greet everyone, and be like this or like that." At first, it made me feel pressured, like I had to fit a mold of what they wanted a pastor's wife to be. But eventually, I realized that while it's good to be warm and approachable, I don't have to live up to every single expectation people set for me. I need to serve and love genuinely, not just perform for approval. So, the key is this: manage expectations with grace. People may have opinions, but you are accountable first to God. Learn to serve in areas where you are genuinely gifted and passionate, and don't be afraid to lovingly say no when necessary. Number four, you carry a silent weight. Yeah, being a pastor's wife often comes with silent struggles. You might feel lonely because you don't know who you can really confide with or confide in. People see you as the pastor's wife. So, not just an ordinary woman, who also has fears, frustrations, and weaknesses. But we are women. Yeah, sometimes even when you need comfort, others expect you to be the strong one. So there are moments I wanted to cry out or be vulnerable, but I held back because I didn't want others to think less of me or my husband. Yeah. That silent weight can be heavy, but I realized God doesn't expect me to carry it alone. So my greatest relief is found in prayer, in His Word, of course, and in safe friendships with people I can trust. So I have mentors. So this is why your personal relationship with the Lord is so, so, so important. Before being a wife or a ministry partner, you are God's daughter. Yeah, take time to nurture your spiritual life through prayer, the word, and supportive friendships. Only God can carry the silent weights that come with this role of being a pastor's wife. Fifth, your family becomes a testimony. Like it or not, people watch your family closely. They look at your marriage, how you treat your husband, how your children behave, even how you respond in stressful situations. Sometimes it feels unfair, but as a pastor's wife, your family is part of your testimony. I've seen this firsthand whenever people comment on our kids or our home. Sometimes it's encouraging, other times it feels like pressure. But instead of striving for perfection, I've learned to embrace authenticity. When people see that our family also has struggles but chooses to love, forgive, and depend on God, it inspires them more than perfection ever could. The truth is, people don't need to see perfection from your family. What inspires them is authenticity. When they see you loving, forgiving, and growing in faith together, your family's walk with God speaks louder than any sermon. Number six, you need a strong identity in Christ. This is so important. If your identity rests only on being the pastor's wife, you'll easily crumble under pressure. But if your identity is anchored in Christ, you'll remain steady no matter the people say or expect. Remember, you are not defined by your husband's role or by the church members' opinions. You are defined by who you are in Christ. Okay? So when your identity is firm, you won't be shaken by gossip, by criticism, or expectations. You'll have the confidence to serve from overflow, not from pressure. So this is what sustains a pastor's wife in the long run. Lastly, it's beautiful but costly. Yes, the road is hard, but it's also incredibly beautiful. As a pastor's wife, you get a front row seat to God's work in people's lives. You see broken hearts healed, marriages restored, souls saved, and lives transformed. You have the privilege of walking alongside your husband in the greatest mission on earth, bringing people to Jesus. But let's be real, it comes with a cost. You will sacrifice privacy, time, and sometimes even your comfort. You will have to forgive when criticized, stay strong when misunderstood, and love when it's not easy. That's the price of the ministry, but also the beauty of it. In the end, the challenges only make the rewards sweeter. When you look back, you'll see that the sacrifices were worth it because you were able to serve God faithfully alongside the man He called you to marry. Before you dream of becoming a pastor's wife, remember it's not about the spotlight, the title, or the position. It's about servanthood, sacrifice, and love. If God has truly called you to this, He will equip you with the strength, patience, and grace you need. So, and in the end, you'll find that while the journey is costly, it is also one of the most beautiful callings you can ever walk in. So thank you so much for watching. If this video inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let me know in the comments which of these points spoke to you the most. And I'd love to hear from you. And yeah, until next time, God bless.